Welcome back, everyone. Thank you very much for staying with us on Politics Tonight. From Kaduna and Borno states in the north to the southeastern parts of the country, security remains one of the topmost concerns of Nigerians. Threats ranging from Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa province in West Africa to attacks in the northeast, kidnapping for ransom and organized criminal looting in the northwest, and agitation in the southeast. One of the sectors most affected is the transportation of food from one part of the country to the other, as roads are sometimes targeted in acts of violence, hindering farmers from moving their produce. Meanwhile, the Nigerian military has confirmed that 6 of its soldiers died in a battle in the northeastern state of Borno. Major General Edward Buba, Director Defense Media Operations, says the army killed more than 13 insurgents. He said the militants belonged to Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa province, who launched pre-dawn attacks on Sunday. So tonight, let's review Nigerian security in 2024 and the recent attacks in Sabon Gari village of Damboa local government area of Borno State. Joining me tonight is Dr. Abdullahi Shinkafi, former Vice Chairman, Committee for Finding the Root Causes of Banditry Solution in Zamfara State. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, sir. Good evening to you, Doctor. Thank you very much for joining us.
Okay, thank you for having me. Very
right.
Also.
Thank you very much. You know, northern Nigeria has suffered attacks and atrocities by various jihadist groups, including Boko Haram and its ISWAP offshoots, since 2009. This is 2025. Borno State has kicked off the year with harrowing experiences from armed criminal groups who continue to pose a threat in the region. Dr. Shinkafi, what do you make of this latest attack in Borno State?
First and foremost, I want to sympathize with the families of those who lost their life on this recent attack in Sabon Gari in Damboa local government. The group of terrorists, Boko Haram and ISWAP, launched this deadly attack to innocent lives, which the air component and also the ground troops engaged them and neutralized many of these terrorists. I want to use this opportunity also to salute the courage and the resilience of the Nigerian army, most especially Operation Hadin Kai, in curtailing the activities of these terrorists in Borno State. So you see, this issue of terrorists, the Boko Haram come to the moonlight since 2002. And they turned to terrorist group in 2009. We know the commitment of the government, how money were being expanded in this fight against terrorists in the northeast and also most especially in Borno State. So this is highly disheartening and highly alarming.
All right, Dr. Shinkafi. I mean, I do not know if you've gone through or you've seen the statement released by Major General Edward Buba indicating that the terrorists had attempted to surprise troops and retaliate the recent killing of their commander and combatants by troops. And also, according to that report, terrorists were taken unaware. Sadly, we lost 6 soldiers. Battle damage assessment revealed several killed terrorists and weapons recovered. And if you look at the reinforcement team, also encountered improvised explosive device injuring the vigilante commander. The air components of Operation Hadin conducted air interdiction on the fleeing terrorists. 2 critical issues here, Dr. Shinkafi. First, let's take a look at the operations of Hadin. It's been a year since Major General Shuaibu Wadu took over as theater commander. Take us through how you think he has fared with this new mandate.
You see, they have wanted to ambush the component of the operation Hadin Kai, which luckily enough the security agencies, that is the Joint Task Force, including the vigilante, engaged the terrorists and got an enforcement from the air component and also successfully neutralized many of these terrorists. But some soldiers have been killed, but they are very minimal. They are not in a large number. So you see, this criminal or terrorists trying to take people unaware, there is need to expand the information gathering. That is intelligence gathering. And getting the intelligence gathered will now help the security agencies to fight them stand still. So these are some of the support, and also the air component need to always respond. If the air component of the Nigerian airports have not responded promptly, so the numbers of casualties will be much in the fight of the military.
But how do you evaluate the operations of Hardin K under the leadership of Major General Shuaibu Wadi?
See, the Operation Hardin K have been doing a very marvelous job in the Northeast, and they have been doing they are very committed, hardworking, looking at how they wanted to ambush the soldiers, and they tactically getting through the reinforcement on the part of the air component, they successfully neutralized the terrorists. So they need to be appreciated, and there should be more deployment of these security agencies in the fight against these terrorists in Borno State, also other part of the northeastern state. And that should be a prompt border patrol. You know, Borno State share boundary with Chad, share boundary with Cameroon, and share boundary with Niger Republic. So that should be, because of the porosity of the border, these non-state actors that take over the ungoverned spaces. And it is easier for them to smuggle small and lighter arms through the land border.
But in addressing the threats posed by improvised explosive devices in Nigeria, because in the year 2023, more than 100 people lost their lives due to IED-related terrorist attacks. But in recognizing the urgent need to strengthen counter-IED efforts in the country, has there been enough effort on the part of government?
On the part of efforts, that should be a committed effort in trying to checkmate the proliferation of these explosive devices. You see, this IED are some of the components these criminals, terrorists, including the armed bandits, are using in doing mass destruction when they come to launch a suicide bombing. So the government and other bomb squad, on the part of the military, on the part of the police, there should be a proper monitoring of the usage of this explosive, especially by construction and mining company. Any company using explosive should make sure that the company got a rightful approval from the Ministry of Solid Mineral Resources. There should be a check and balances on how these explosives have been transported to the mining site. And all the mining site and construction company should give an account of the number of the explosives they use in blasting during their mining or construction work in their site. That will now checkmate the proliferation of these explosives onto these terrorists.
All right, let's stay on this, Dr. Shinkafi, but let's expand this beyond Nigeria, because proliferation of illicit explosive materials in West Africa and taking a regional approach. Also, I remember that the same year, 2023, 4 of the 10 most terrorism-affected countries, devastating impact felt across the region from the use of IEDs. Now, don't you think it has now become very important to attack IED production networks and apprehend actors involved?
Yeah, the government should, in any agencies of the government, maybe especially the Nigerian Army and Nigerian Police, they have this impressive explosive device department. And these are the ones who are being vested the responsibility of checking the importation and the usage of this explosive, especially what I have said on the mining side. So there should be a total border control, either at the land border or the sea ports, how these explosives are being imported into Nigeria, so that it will not go to the bad hands. Because these bad hands, that is terrorists and ISWAP and armed bandits, have access in getting these explosives. And going by the Nigerian Mining Regulation Act 2007, it's only those who have a permit to use and purchase this explosive should should have been in the position of it. But it is very unfortunate how this explosive has been wrongly going into the hands of criminals or terrorists, using it to perpetrate crime, and they do killings.
Do you think West African leaders are doing enough regarding this?
There should be a synergy, and also this border security patrol among the West African nations. When the West African countries unite in the fight against these terrorists in the region, I think doing that will minimize the proliferation of this explosive into the West African region. Because most of these African states, West African, are connected through the land border. Chad, you can get into Chad through the land border. You can get into Benin through the land border. You can get into Cameroon through the land border. You can get into this thing, Niger, Cameroon, even Libya, even Algeria. Through Niger, you can go to Algeria. So these are some of there should be a border control on how this Togo, Ghana, you can connect through the land border in Nigeria, Mali, Senegal, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire. All this can be connected through the land. That should be a synergy, and join patrol or join any joint task force on how to fight this ISWAP, terrorists, ISIS, bandits in the West African sub-region. When the Mr. President is going to chair the ECOWAS meeting, should now brought that as one of the agenda, how to build a synergy on the security and the patrol of the borders in West African sub-region.
All right. Dr. Shinkafi, let's take a break, and when we come back, we will continue this conversation. Please stay with us, everyone. Welcome back to Politics Tonight, everyone. Thank you very much for staying with us. Tonight, we're discussing the recent terrorist attack in Sabon Gari, Damboa local government area of Borno State. And I've been speaking with Abdullahi Shinkafi, former Vice Chairman, Committee for Finding the Root Causes of Banditry Solution in Zamfara State. Dr. Shinkafi, thank you very much for staying with us on the program. You know, let's come back to Nigeria, and considering how critical this matter is, I think it's important for you to speak to how far we've gone in increasing national CIED capacity. I mean, so in terms of trainings on countering supply and understanding the extent of IED contamination, because we cannot continue to watch and allow our people, our soldiers die and get killed.
Can you come back again, please?
I wanted to speak to how far we've gone in increasing national CIED capacity in terms of training on countering supply and understanding the extent of IED contamination.
Yeah, the country should also train this conventional security on this issue of IED, because most of them have been trained on only how to combat this crime on the combatant field. But that should be a special training or a special squad, how they can curtail this issue of IEDs and other sophisticated weapons these criminals are going to be using for suicide mission. You see, some of these criminals have access to get this AK-47, AK-40, all kinds of arms and ammunition. But the government should do everything humanly possible to see how they can checkmate or how they can train, equip our soldiers who are in the battlefield. Because apart from even training them, they need to also they should have some safety measures in handling these IEDs. You see, going by what I'm seeing on the screen, you see the type of weapons our military have, and that should also be need for advanced technological device in fighting this criminal instead of using conventional forces or conventional method of fighting this criminal. Look at how sophisticated weapons, how they are roaming about there. Highly sophisticated weapons. Some of the even Nigerian army doesn't have access to it. So that should be another way. There should be a technological advancement on how to fight these criminals.
All right. Dr. Shikafi, in the year 2024, we had a lot of conversations regarding security situation in Nigeria. And I remember that most of you had said in reversing Nigeria's deteriorating security environment, security experts like yourself have advised the federal government, particularly President Bola Tinubu, to surge security forces in identified hotspots while prioritizing civilian harm reduction, improving accountability of the security sector, and rebuilding trust. Let's focus on accountability sector and rebuilding this trust. First, the president has said he will not be probing Nigeria's service chiefs, saying that he has confidence in their ability to secure the country. The president went on to say he's proud of what the service chiefs are doing. Are you on the same page with the president?
Yeah, I'm quite in the same page with Mr. President on the issue of the service chiefs, because these service chiefs have not stayed in office for more than 2 years. So some of them, I know they have fought in a different theater operation. They have been deployed in different commands. They have the experience, they have the capacity, they have the managerial talent to turn around the security apparatus in the country. But they need to be trained again, to be well equipped and also financed, and should be motivated. So we need to give them more time to study the situation, especially the newly appointed chief of army staff. You need to know the terrain, you need to study the situation. You see, apart from this ISIS, this Lakrawa, ISWAP, Armed Bandit, IPOF, so they have a lot of security challenges in hand to fight to safeguard the internal and territorial integrity of this country. So I'm in the same page with the Mr. President, but there should be an accountability. There should be a forensic audit and how the money are being expanded on defense and security. If you look at what had happened, Nigerian Bureau of Statistics issued a report where 2.2 trillion was paid as ransom to the criminal armed body in 2024, which is 48% of the total budget for defense and security in 2025 fiscal year. 2.09 trillion was proposed as budget for defense and security. So for Nigerian Bureau of Statistics will issue a report that 2.2 trillion was paid as ransom to the armed bandit. So what we are trying to say, the money should be properly accounted. The security apparatus, both of the defense and security police, should get a proper account of the money being appropriated into the national budget. They cannot take the lion's share of the budget. They took the higher percentage of the budget for more than 10 years. Yet, it has not changed the narrative. This is what we are saying. People like us are saying. So there should be a proper accountability. There should be a transparent. All the money being allocated to purchase some war equipment should be properly utilized.
All right. But the president believes that probing security chiefs on the prevalent insecurity in Nigeria is a disrespect to the institution. I wonder how you react to that.
No, it's not an issue of respect. Mr. President has took an oath of office that is going to be a president of Nigeria. So he should make sure that no any ministry or any agency of the government is being exempted from being for investigation on how the funds are being spent. You understand? And that we have to, going by the Fiscal Responsibility Act, all the money who are being approved in the approved budget, there should be a accountability and transparency on how the government spending, how the money are being spent in the government. So it's not a disrespect. You understand? It's not a disrespect.
Absolutely.
But it's an
Just before we came on air, Dr. Shinkafi, just before we came on air, the federal government debunked plans of hiring foreign machinery to help address the security challenges in the country, saying it has never considered it as a viable option. First, what's your take on this? And because many thought the federal government was open to foreign support and partnership in the fight against banditry and terrorism, is this the federal government changing its mind?
I'm not in support of government importing or getting any military forces in curtailing the internal problem facing Nigeria, security challenges facing Nigeria. Before, in 1979, when I was in the primary 4, and also I was 10 years old, 1979, by the grace of God, today I'm 56 years old. So in that days, mobile police, we call them kill and go. Mobile police are in charge of internal security, whatever is happening. This riot and many other things. If Nigerian police, especially the mobile police and the other segment of the police, are equally empowered, equipped, and trained, they can also take part in this fight against terrorism. Because these terrorists are not foreigners. These armed bandits are not foreigners. Most of them, 80% of these criminals are indigenous. So I share the same opinion with Mr. President. They should not bring a foreign mercenary to come and fight the insecurity in Nigeria. We have the capable hands. Our soldiers, that is our military forces, are one of the best military who are being trained in the world. But what we need, there should be a recruitment of more personnel in this fight, because the personnel are understaffed, are under-equipped, are under-motivated.
Still talking about foreign mercenaries, because back in 2015, the Jonathan administration admitted to getting logistical and technical support from what it calls foreign contractors in the fight against Boko Haram. It was actually a lawful recruitment, Dr. Shinkafi. Looking back now, did that yield any positive impact?
Yeah, if the government can get a logistics support and some of the military support, it's okay. But bringing a foreign mercenary to come and fight the internal security challenges is uncalled for. I'm not in support of it, because there is misconception, miscommunication, that our people are suspecting if this foreign machinery are being imported or brought into Nigeria, they will be also foiling the crisis internally. So let the government not to associate with any foreign country in looking for any foreign machinery to go and fight in our internal problem. This Boko Haram and this ISWAP and also the armed bandit, some of them are local. Like one of the most wanted armed bandit kingpin, Bello Turji, is from our community in my local government in Shinkapi. We have known his mother, we know his father, we knew him when he was young, because he's still 35 years, only 35 years old. So what is the need of going to get a military mercenary to go and fight a criminal who people know why he is domiciled?
All right. We'll talk about Zamfara State in a minute.
It's a waste of resources.
Dr. Shinkafi, we'll talk about Zamfara State in a moment. But also today, the federal government talked about domesticating production of military equipment. And if I'm to go by what was said by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, he says this became necessary to avoid the unnecessary delays associated with importing such equipment from foreign countries. What would it cost us as a country?
Yeah, it is very advisable. We have DACON. DACON are being when DACON was established, it was vested the responsibility of fabricating, constructing, and manufacturing military equipments. So I see no reason why we cannot locally fabricate or construct this or manufacture this arms and ammunition locally. DACON is in Kaduna and it's under Ministry of Defense. Our money has been appropriated to this DACON. I salute the courage of this DACON. Last year I saw the APC, that's Armored Personnel Carrier Vehicle. They have constructed or manufactured, which can compete with other worlds in Nigeria. So I in total support of the Minister of Foreign Affairs that we should use our local manufacturing company. Maybe Innocent can also construct this armored personnel carrier vehicle. DACON have been producing arms and ammunition. So I think it's a welcome development, and Mr. President have to support DACON to continue manufacturing this military equipment locally. When you now import it, you pay taxes, you pay landing costs, you pay shipping, you pay insurance. So, but when you do it here, you will minimize the cost of production and also cost of procuring the military equipment. I think it's a welcome development, and I support that idea.
So my question was, what would it cost the federal government to stay on course to achieve this remarkable proposition?
It will minimize cost of production, and also it will also delay. Instead of waiting for shipment of this item, it can be produced locally, and it will save time in delivery.
All right, Dr. Shinkafi, 2025 budget of restoration, securing peace, rebuilding prosperity, 4.91 trillion naira has been allocated to the defense and security sector. But experts doubt this would improve security. The president's goal is to overhaul Nigeria's security architecture to boost performance operations and achieve better results. But we've seen increased military spending in recent years without making Nigerians safer and more secure. Dr. Shinkafi.
Yeah, you see, a lot of funds are being appropriated, I have said earlier. The Nigerian security and defense always take 4 to 5% of the total budget annually, but it has not changed the narratives. There is need for Mr. President to do check and balances on how to manage this security apparatus. And that should be a total commitment, as Mr. President has sworn to an oath that during also his election campaign, he promised Nigerians as part of the Renew Hope agenda that he's going to secure the lives and property of Nigerians. So money being appropriated in Nigerian budget on defense and security should be underlined, should be properly utilized for betterment of Nigeria. Also should do the needful to make sure that it has changed the narratives of the previous years, where this money has been appropriated and money has been released to other segments of the security and defense, yet it has not changed the narratives. And the higher level people, all these people who are managing the resources should have a fear of God and know that in the day of judgment, God will hold them accountable for holding a position, and God will hold them accountable for mismanaging the Nigerian resources. That's the truth of the matter.
All right, let's go back to Zamfara State. Now that the federal government has lifted a 5-year ban on mining exploration in the state, as far back as 2020, former Governor Bedo Matawale claimed illegal miners were the root cause of insecurity in the state. But back here, Dr. Shinkafi, how do we ensure that we do not go back to where we were before this ban?
Yeah, I'm not in the same page with the former governor of Zamfara State saying that illegal mining is the root cause of banditry. Historically, the root cause of banditry is herders and farmers clashes. And you know, Zamfara share boundary with Niger Republic. There is a forestry of the border where ungoverned space, these non-state actors can easily smuggle arms and ammunition into the land border. Shinkafi share boundary with Niger Republic, Issa share boundary with Niger Republic, and also Zulmi share boundary with Niger Republic. So there is a land border, and the border is very porous. So these non-state actors can easily smuggle these smaller and lighter arms into the Nigerian shore. So there are many root causes of this armed banditry: cattle rustling, kidnapping for ransom, imposition of tax and levies. So, and also weak security apparatus, weak judicial system, and also unscrupulous security agencies who are being aiding and abetting this armed banditry, and also some traditional rulers who are also aiding and abetting this armed banditry, and also this grazing reserves were also taken over by these traditional rulers. So there are many root causes of this armed banditry, but illegal mining is partly one of the root causes. But I would even give more space of this illegal mining during the period of Bello Matole when he was governor, is the suspension or the ban on mining activities in Zamfara State. So all those licensed companies who are being given license to mine in Zamfara State have now deserted from their side, and now the illegal miners, in collaboration with the bandit, took advantage of the ban and now took over the side. So, but when now formally the federal government lifted the ban on mining, then the legitimate license owner will go back with the help of security agencies to take over their mining site and continue their activities. So the resumption of the resumption and lifting of the mining in the state will also even help in the fighting illegal mining and also banditry in Zamfara State, because any license owner has the right to apply for security protection when he's going to do his mining activities in the site, because he's going to also be paying royalties and taxes into the consolidated federation account.
All right, Dr. Shinkafi, for the purpose of clarity, whose job is it to now ensure that illegal mining does not become the order of the day in that state as it were before the ban? The state government or security architecture?
You see, Zamfara has a very big landmass, and these security agencies are understaffed and under-equipped. And this armed bandit, I would have said, are staying in the deep forests. So this forest where these armed bandits are staying are most of the places also where there is higher solid mineral deposits that have potentials like lithium, copper, and gold. So the illegal miners took advantage and even collaborated with the bandits. They were paying them some taxes and levies, and now the armed bandit will give them access to the mining site. So that is why some people are looking at it. Maybe they are having some collaboration or cooperation or collaboration with the armed bandit. But I'm very, very optimistic that with the resumption of the mining activities, the illegal mining and banditry will be a history of the day.
You've consistently talked about how our security agencies are being understaffed. So let's talk about state policing. For now, all 36 state governors have submitted their positions on state police, with the majority of them agreeing on the need for state-controlled policing. So it looks like we're good to go with that. But if we eventually go ahead with state policing, do you worry about collaboration, intelligence sharing between state and federal police and also the military?
Yeah, you see, the problem we're having, these security agencies, they don't work in synergy. There should be a symbiotic relationship between the security agencies, that is the military, the Navy, the Air Force. You see, like Operation Pansanyama is a collaboration, it's a joint operation. Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Air Force, and other security agencies. So there should be a synergy among the security agencies. The problem we are having, like action agencies, that is the military. Sometimes the internal security, that is the DSS, will now get have an intelligence gathering that there is armed bandit in social place, but the action agencies will not take an action. Like what is happening now. Yesterday is a black day in the history of Zamfara State. In Nkrumah, armed bandit came with the 10 trucks, Golf, and Isuzu vehicle, kidnapped more than 500 locals, villagers, and killed about 21 people in Zamfara State. It is very unfortunate, and that Angulbi or Nkrumah axis in Ensado, Mumaro local government. This is some of the epicenter of armed banditry for more than 13 years now. So these are some of the why you have been insisting on this issue of understanding. So the issue of the state police, it happens. I was a member of the National Conference in 2014. So one of our recommendations, we recommended for establishment of state police, but they should be answerable to the Office of Inspector General of Police.
All right, Dr. Shinkafi, because of time, now, what's your advice to the federal government on the lasting way to secure Nigeria?
The lasting way to secure Nigeria, there should be many ways to secure Nigeria by using kinetic and non-kinetic approach, by using a homegrown solution where these armed bandits who have been the locals can be invited by the traditional rulers, the government, to see how we can have a homegrown solution. But there should be a kinetic and non-kinetic approach in solving this problem.
All right. Dr. Abdullahi Shinkafi, former Vice Chairman, Committee for Finding the Root Causes of Banditry Solution in Zamfara State. Thank you so much for joining us on Politics Tonight. Thank you.
Okay.